Hi, and welcome to once again another edition of the Jennifer Valentine-Miller Show. It was last month that a guest and I mentioned re-engagement being an issue in the midst of the pandemic, meaning re-engagement back to work, back to school, and back into business. Moreover, there is an issue for the church to re-engage its single adults back to the fold. So yes, today's show says, let's talk about how to reach every single person. And this is with the help from the Singles Network Ministry. 1 Peter 5:12 says, care for the flock of God entrusted to you. Watch over it willingly, not grudgingly, not for what you'll get out of it, because you are eager to serve. So the single adults are the untapped people group. Nationwide, the single adult population is around 54%, while in some cities it's higher and lower in the rural areas. But this is not reflected in most of our churches. So why are not our churches reflective of this 54%? Well, because most churches are led by pastored or by married adults who often focus in their similar life stage. Most sermons are often geared towards marriage and family. Most church events and ministry are focused towards traditional families. Most leadership opportunities are often offered to married adults over single adults. There is a perceived lack of need. Most adults do not think that there are any single adults to reach out to. They are defined singles as a certain age group that is only focused on getting married. There is a perceived lack of available resources to learn about how to reach them. From gross gossip to past bad experience, it seems to be too much work to try and reach single adults. Lack of leadership development and continued development to grow or to reach out to them. If we are to be clear, here are a few things that we should be clear about. Single adults, like all adults of all backgrounds and ages, want to feel valued, to be included and loved. People, for the most part, desire community and a place to serve using their gifts. You do not have to have a special program, Bible studies, or spend tens of money to reach out to single adults. Most of all, single adults, even older ones, want to be married or remarried, and that is a good thing. For those who are following the Lord, they would like to marry another Christian. If our churches do not provide a safe place for singles and single parents to come, a place where they feel valued and wanted, then singles will look for someone outside the church. And we are aware that our second greatest decision we make will be who we marry, and our first is salvation. So single adults do matter, and they can help grow your church in numbers, in maturity and commitment, if given a chance. When included, single adults as examples from the Bible, or remember them in sermons, in stories. This alone will change the involvement in your church. If my pastor cares, then I must be of value. Then I must help the church grow. I must serve in some capacity. Get to know singles by their names. Get to know a bit about their lives, which will grow the church. And it shouldn't be a stigma, what past they've had. Married people really invite singles to lunch or dinner, or think about needs that they may have at home. Hosting a single adult in your home, including those with kids, will communicate their value. Because single adults have a larger community than most marrieds, word will spread fast about how you really care. Remember too, this is a great way to find potential volunteers and leaders. Singles who have never married or do not have children have the most flexible use of their time and money. However, they are least reached in the church, and it's not to say that they have more time or other responsibilities, but because they do not have a spouse, and they can often serve longer, help at the last minute, and lead in multiple areas of ministry. Single adults make amazing greeters, and I know that from example. The church needs to have greeters that reflect not only who goes to your church, but also who you want to reach. Single people are never outdated. Many single adults visit your church on Sunday morning. By greeting them, having a welcome centre where they fill out information, you can identify that those who are single from that information. This is a great way from the start to learn who they are, reach out, and involve them. Singles should be asked to serve in all areas of the church, especially in areas of leadership, no matter how mature or immature you think they may be. If a church leader is listening today and your Sunday school classes or small groups need 2 leaders, think about 2 singles. Often, even when singles get married, they are invested in serving. They will continue even after they get married. Also, by involving singles in all areas of church, the church as a whole grows and is better connected. Do you want more young marrieds with children in your church? Knowing that 2 young marrieds come from 2 singles, so the more investment in reaching singles, growing them in the Lord, the healthier their marriages will be, including all age marriages. Start a Bible study, small group geared to ministering to single adults in their life stage. There are many negatives around this area because most singles feel that when they get into small groups, they're frowned upon. What could be included in these small group meetings? Boundaries in relationships, which is where some singles fall. Divorce care for those who have been made single because of a divorce situation. Grief care, those living with loss. There's also the great book, Jesus, Single Like Me, which was produced by the Singles Ministries Network. That can be shared with them. So depending on the size of your church, it can grow into a singles ministry. But if not, it is still ministering to this group of people to ultimately grow them personally and the church. It needs to be noted that singles ministry is not the end, but a gateway to reach all people to Christ. We need to remember that the enemy doesn't want a church to grow. He doesn't want you to reach this huge demographic that has a power to change the world. He doesn't want marriage. He doesn't want people to use their gifts. He doesn't want anyone to grow. And that's in John 10:10. So we can all help and start the conversation of how to reach singles in the church and in the community. And how you, as a pastor, how can you start the conversation with your singles?